Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It only takes 2 simple clicks. Click, click. Enjoy the episode. Hello, viewers, and welcome back. This is Josh24214, and yeah, it's been 2 weeks, and now we're back to My Hero Academia, and we're on chapter 239. Last time we had 2 weeks ago, we had quite the crazy ride we had we had Shigaraki finally going plus ultra and just like, no, Dad, get out of my head. And we have Mecha, an Iron Man Venom Redestro about to fight. And yeah, it's getting that crazy. So yeah, we're just gonna quickly jump into this week's chapter, and luckily it came in just in the right time. So let's start with chapter 239, titled Succession. And we... hold on. And, sorry about that. And we first start off on page 1. We cut back from that epic fight showdown with Destro and Redestro and Shigaraki to catch back with Trumpet. We catch back to Trumpet and Spinner, and Trumpet is still in his goddamn little mini fan. And the dialogue for some of the box in the dialogue, we get into Spinner's head, and it starts out saying, "Yo, it's me, Shukuki Iruchi, aka Spinner." And Trumpet's just going as fast as he can, while all this carnage and destruction by Shigaraki's most biggest decay ever. Stop! 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 Fall back! Ah, my shoes! My shoe! And we cut back to Spinner dialogue when Spinner just hits the side of the trunk on the way while the car's backing up. Okay, that is kind of funny. And we get more into Spinner's dialogue. Thanks to Twice and the rest of the gang's protection, I was able to cling to that politician's fan. It's more like the fan was backing up, just smacking you on the side of the face. And we got a little bit here. At the source of all the destruction, and we get more into it in Spinner's thoughts. And I know something crazy is going down at the place where this fan was heading. Our story was at our story was at a standstill, but now, and we cut back to page 2, and we get like a lot of destruction and carnage, and we get a quick going back to the real one of the Twice clones carrying Giran, tried to escape the carnage. Hang in there, Giran. It's been years since I've ran like this. Even Giran has a good laugh. And we cut back to Freaky D and his freaky monkey army. Oh god, I can't remember. Skeptic. We cut back to Skeptic, and he sees all the carnage. Redestro. And we, in the middle panel of and also Eskimo guy survived his epic pimp slap from Giga in the last chapter, and he's just finally coming out of the ruins. And we see Shigaraki getting a lot of good artwork, and he's just putting his full good hand onto the ground and causing this big epic decay explosion. Do not fear. And I don't know who's speaking at this. And page 3, we get more of this dialogue. Think about it this way: people's lives, hard work, and progress are all in your hands. Will you grasp and destroy them, or simply toy with them as you please? The decision is yours. Once you accumulated both hatred and joy, you will be truly free. And we cut back to Shigaragi's biggest attack, to hopefully against Mecha Redestro here. And his explosion still goes off. And Redestro feels it. Grr. And we get more into Redestro's dialogue. The decay. It's spreading and quickly. Based on our observations of his previous battle, it should have a limited range. If I can just get out of here, on page 4, he flies off in his rocket boosters and just takes off while parts of his mecha suit is falling apart. And even Redestro is shocked at this, or maybe he's just ordering a retreat. And it's starting dismantling itself. And while that's going on, the only thing Shigaraki has going for is him laughing maniacally while seeing the town being destroyed. And I can't do a real good laugh here, but I'll try. And more of Shigaraki's dialogue on the next page. And he's just boasting, I'll break you to pieces, while still doing his big decay explosion. Boom, boom. And on page 6, we see the decay spreading so big and turns into a carnage, and everything's falling apart. Enteka City's falling apart. And while Redestro's just flying away from all this carnage, Shigaraki still continues laughing throughout this entire thing. And yeah. And page 7, Shigaraki is still going on his big laugh, while Redestro just sees all this carnage and a piece of debris. I think in the artwork, by the looks of it, that Redestro didn't see a piece of debris coming to him, and it hits him, and he falls off on one of the pieces of armor that he was riding. And page 8, we see more of the destruction around him, and we see... And remind you, these couple of pages, there's no dialogue going on, so... No dialogue, it's just probably him, Shigaraki, laughing maniacally while all this carnage and destruction is still going on. And yeah, after a little bit, we see Giga standing there, and Giga's like safe and not touched by the decay quirk. And Giga just sees this carnage, and we see in the smoke's starting to clear up, that we see Redestro. But after the next panel, yo, Jesus, Redestro got his frickin' feet chopped off by a piece of metal from his suit of armor, just chopping it off at the feet. And Shigaraki starts coming out of the smoke. He starts coming out of the smoke now. And on page 9, his dialogue kicks in. Still looking badass, by the way. And Shigaraki talks. So your feet touched the ground, and you cut them off before the decay spread to your entire body. Remind me, what started this whole battle? And you just see Shigaraki just coming closer and closer to Redestro, while Destro's legs are literally gone. And Shigaraki just looks at Redestro at this. And Shigaraki continues, Oh yeah, it was because you picked a fight with us. And Shigaraki just smiling at it, just like, yeah, I know what I'm beat. It's just like showing that look, yeah, I know I'm screwed, aren't I? And on page 10, we see some of the remains of the Quirk Liberation Army, including Trumpet's stupid minifan. And probably Trumpet's saying, Redestro! And the people are all shocked by looking at the carnage of Redestro being a cripple and just seeing Shigaraki just about to finish off their supreme leader. And the town folk are just saying, the supreme leader, this cannot be. And yeah, the Quirk Liberation Army grunts are just like dumbfounded and terrified. And today they should have worn the brown pants. Basically, they should have worn brown pants today. And Trumpet goes on, everyone, you must save the supreme leader at once. And Shigaraki shows a look and just looks and probably at Trumpet saying, seriously? You want to start this fight? You want me to continue? And the people are just terrified, and probably more of Trumpet's dialogue. My entitlement is being overwritten. Impossible. And we cut away to Redestro just lifting up his right hand over the shoulder and just saying, Trumpet, it's over. And Trumpet just looks at him. And Redestro continues, any more fighting would cause meaningless casualties while doing the salute of the Quirk Liberation Army. And with that, Trumpet retracts his stupid helmet back to his banners again. And we see Shigaraki starting going closer and closer to Redestra, and as Redestra is about to do something, all of our soldiers were devoted believers in in Destro's dying wish. They were all brought up with the resolve to die for our cause. And we get a bit more into Destro's philosophy. The free use of superpowers, liberation over suppression. Oh, great Destro, if the model leader of our liberation should be the personification of freedom, then this young man, who was able to casually shrug off the weight of our history and destiny, is surely, now that I've witnessed it. And we see Giga looking onward. And this is probably more of Redestro's dialogue. It is as you say. I picked a fight with you and lost. If you mean to kill me, then get it over with. I too will sacrifice myself for Destro's wish. And we see Giga's just having a new expression on his face, and we see like a flashback to All for One. And I think Giga is finally accepting Shigaraki as his master's true successor, and some of the people and Trumpet and the minifan. And we also see Spinner seeing this glorious, probably Redestro's death. And on page 13, the last page, we see Shigaraki looking down on Redestro while Destro is basically begging for mercy and just pledging his undying loyalty to Shigaraki, doing that epic pose that probably Kratos was doing in God of War.
Only a simple pledge of loyalty was required.
My life is yours.
Basically. And Redestro continues, I couldn't help but think that the utter utterly destroyed. Utterly destroyed, warped horizon looked beautiful. And and we see Shigaraki thinking about it. And Shigaraki gets an idea, like a classic light bulb going off. And we cut back to when Mr. Compress was talking about like during the whole overhaul arc storyline, and we get that dialogue. If only we cooperated with the, I think back at the beginning of this arc, if only we cooperated with the Hazakuri, or the Seven Precepts. I think that also means the Seven Precepts of Death. We'd probably be gorging ourselves in sushi right about now. And we see Redestro continues, and he pledges his undying loyalty to Shigaraki, and he says, "The Quark Liberation Army is yours to command." And now we get Spinner to finish us off. Now that I've witnessed this young man shining so brightly, and we see the Mad Doctor, and flashback to the Mad Doctor, and probably like during the before fighting the Quark Liberation Army, and we get back to Giga, and he says, "Successor," and we get more of Spinner's dialogue. Our story started to pick up speed. And then for the final panel, we see Shigaraki only saying one thing, and one thing only. You got money, right? You got money, right, Mr. President? No, and no one could stop it. What lies beyond the League's victory? My Hero Academia, Chapter 239, end. And yeah, I know, it's a quick chapter to read through. And I guess the fight between the Quark Liberation Army and the League of Villains are over, and the Quark Liberation Army leader of Redestra has just officially joined the League of Villains and being part of Shigaraki's posse army now. And so, yeah, so basically Shigaraki's got about 4 new members? Destro, Trumpet, Skeptic, Eskimo Man. 4 new members. Well, he could have gotten one more unless with Curious, but sadly, Toga. Yeah, she's still dead. So yeah, so I guess this might be the end of the Quark Liberation Army, and I think they're just gonna finish it up on chapter 240. Or maybe we just start a new arc right now, right next week. So yeah. I know, it's a very short chapter, but I do like this chapter because there's not much dialogue while Shigaraki's just destroying the whole town. It's like most of the chapter pages was dedicated on that, and probably during all that, Shigaraki's just laughing his best laugh he ever had. So yeah, so I wish you all a good day, and I'll hopefully see you in chapter 240. And until then, this has been Josh24214, and yeah, so until then, have a good day, everybody. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. So until then, have a good day, everybody, and I'll see you next week. So, bye for now.